Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Painted Nails, if it will focus. I've had a little bit of a self-care Sunday. I've had a really nice long soak in the bath, done my nails. Definitely didn't do the work that I needed to do for tomorrow, so I'm going to go do that in a minute. But this Motivational Monday video is very, very different because I just didn't have the heart to sit and edit hours of footage today. I do have several videos filmed and just not put out and shared with you just yet, so they'll be coming up in subsequent weeks. But I've tried to be a little bit kind to myself in two different ways. Firstly, by having a video that I didn't need to sit and spend all night editing, doing a voiceover, etc. this evening, but also by just trying to get stuff out of my house. And this Motivational Monday video, can't speak, it's just permission to get rid of stuff. This is what I've just grabbed from the kitchen and the bathroom. I've just been ruthless. I actually took a laundry basket and was just shoving stuff in it, but I've just sorted it out in order to share with you. But ordinarily I would have just grabbed bin bags, boxes, etc. But literally in one day I've managed to grab all of this and decide that it's all leaving my house. So I'm going to go through in detail the bits for those of you that are interested. But for those of you that aren't, we get so weighed down by the stuff in our house and the clutter in our home. And I'm feeling really, really overwhelmed. Work is the biggest contributor for that at the moment. I'm in a very unusual position at school at the moment, and I'm basically doing two jobs. So it's really, really tough. And then it just sort of launches into this spiral of overwhelm. And when I come home, I just can't afford to be overwhelmed here. This needs to be a sort of a safe space, a haven. And that's not how I'm feeling at the moment. So we are just chipping away at it. And I'm going to keep doing videos like this. I've got lots of cleaning, lots of decluttering videos to come up. You know, I do my empties every month as well. But I just needed to be really ruthless today, and I feel like I have been. So there's a couple of bits that have actually come home from school. So this is actually a utensil pot that's had my time. Sorry, it's me leaning on the bed, making that weird groaning noise. This has had my timetable in it for years, and it's been on the floor, and I'm trying to clear bits away. So I've got it in a pouch now. I don't need this anymore. It did have some timers in, but it's become needless clutter. So I'm finally going to get rid of that, which makes me really sad because I've genuinely had that since I started teaching. So I know that sounds really stupid, but we all have weird clutter that, leaning on the bed again, that just kind of ends up staying in our lives for unnecessary reasons. So I'm finally getting rid of that. This frame was bought for me by a child at Christmas, but I don't have any rose gold in my home. So I'm going to see if there's a friend that wants it, and if not, I'm going to donate it, because it's been on a shelf in my classroom for months and months and months, and I've been told I can't leave it where it is. I was just waiting to put a nice picture in it. I wasn't quite sure what to put in there. Sometimes the children do art for me. I've got quite a few frames with children's art, and I was waiting to see if I had something like that come in. But I've basically been told I need to move the frame, so I've moved the frame. Then I've got loads of bits from the kitchen. So these 3 fajita kits, I bought a 4-pack in Costco. I went with one of my friends, and to be honest, Matt hates using these because the wraps are so much smaller than when we buy the big Mission Deli wraps. So rather than us use them, because we don't use the salsa anyway, I'm going to give those to the food bank. They've still got loads of date on them, but it just seems silly. They're just going to end up sitting in our cupboard otherwise. As is this. I've actually got another one that's open. This one is currently sealed. So again, I'm going to give that to the food bank because there's nothing wrong with any of those. But this little bundle, so I've got to kneel down. This little bundle here is all out-of-date food. Some of it probably would have been okay, but a lot of it we haven't used in ages. Like, we only really used turkey gravy granules at Christmas, so if it's out of date now, it's certainly not going to be in date in December. A couple of other bits. This I've had for such a long time and I've never used it. Yeah, that's a couple of months out of date. There's only a tiny bit left of that anyway. That's out of date. So are they, and Matt reckons he wouldn't use this anyway. I can't remember if that one was out of date. Can't see through the screen because it's not. Oh yeah, November 22, so he wouldn't use it anyway, but I can't donate it because obviously out of date. As is this. Probably would be okay, but for those of you that don't know, I have ulcerative colitis, and I'm currently going through a little bit of a flare at the moment. It's certainly not as bad as it's been in the past. My meds shouldn't need to change, but I'm definitely really unsettled at the moment, and it's making me really poorly. Particularly with exhaustion and fatigue, but generally just really unwell, so I'm just whereas normally I'd think, do you know what, it's a couple of months out of date, I'll give it a go. I can't afford to at the moment. I can't afford to put anything in my body that potentially could make me poorly, so I'm just having to be ruthless. This whisk I'm getting rid of because we have an electric one, so I'm not going to stand there and hand wind things if I've got an electric whisk. It's just silly. These salt and pepper grinders, all of the stuff's picking off. They just look a bit tatty now, so I've got rid of those. And we've just bought, you know, like when you buy the ones in the supermarket that just have the grinder attached. That's what we've got because we don't host, so we don't need them for on the dinner table. We just need ones that are functional, and that's what we've got. I had a 5-pack of funnels, and I don't think I've ever used a funnel in the 2.5 years that we've lived in this house. I've kept the blue and the red one, and then I'm getting rid of these 3, so they'll get donated. These are headphones of Matt's that don't work anymore. So one's broken, one's okay, but you can't listen with one headphone, so I'm going to have to find a way to dispose of those. There's a couple of pieces of chocolate. There was more of this, and I had a piece because I don't know what the date of these are, and it didn't taste very nice. But it's a piece that I've enjoyed previously. It just tasted really weird, so again, I'm not risking it, so I'm getting rid of those. I've got all these sauce packets. You can tell what my favourite sauce from McDonald's is, and it's a bit gutting throwing away 5 of these when they're now charging them for them, but they're all out of date, and as I said, being super careful. There's 6 actually, not 5, and then a ketchup and a mayo from the last time we went to Burger King. I've got a load of goo pots. I had a ton, and I've kept, is it 6 or 8? Can't remember, but matching ones. And then these are all ones that didn't match or I felt were excess, so getting rid of those 5. Again, we've got all of these little yogurt pots that we get from Aldi, and we tend to put milk in them if we're taking cereal to work. But again, I've kept, I think 4 or 6, can't remember, and then getting rid of those 3, plus there's another 6 on the windowsill. We've got some chili peanuts that Matt's going to take to work, so I've just filled 6 more of those jars up, but as he finishes those, we'll just bin them, so I won't share those with you, but there's 9 of those glass pots going. And 3 of these, so these are what I keep my spices in. These ones I'll donate, I won't bin these ones. But I have, all of my spice racks are filled. I don't have any more spices that need to go in these, but even if I did, they wouldn't fit on those shelves, so I would probably have to get rid of one that I'm not using and replace it just to keep it uniform, because I'm not having them come off the shelves. So there was 3 left over. We're going to donate them. Again, they've been in the cupboard for like 2.5 years. Final 2 things from the kitchen. This pot here, I tend to keep these for crafting, but I've got quite a few spare, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And these little cupcake cases, I'm going to donate these to school and see if anyone wants those in the cooking room. A few dog toys. So this one I've taken because he's taken the stuffing out and he's starting to rip this up, and I don't want him to swallow the threads. So Matt's going to be super sad because it's the Darth Vader one, but it's died a death. And then these little ones, he just doesn't reach for anymore. He used to love playing with the tiny little toys. So the 3 Christmas ones I'm getting rid of. And then I had a hard time with these. So again, I just wanted to share with you that to a lot of you, you're going to go, that is a ratty little toy. Why are you so attached to it? But I've got really funny memories where he used to hold it and then that would be hanging out of his mouth. And he looked like something from Star Wars or Pirates of the Caribbean. And it really tickled me, but he just doesn't reach for these. Do you know what? Telling you that story makes me want to go and put this back in his toy box. Is that irrational? Is that irrational? I don't think it is. I think it's human nature to assign memories and emotions to inanimate objects. And I think we just need to acknowledge that and be able to move past it. Otherwise, why just pretend that that doesn't mean anything? It does mean something to me, this little octopus. But unfortunately, I do think I'm going to have to get rid of it. You'll probably find that it'll go back in his box. But I'm not going to make any promises. Then I've pulled out just a couple of things from the bedroom. This watch actually snapped the other day. I only bought this, it was £6 from Home Bargains. But do you know what? I really liked it. But I was at work the other day and it just literally snapped off my wrist. So I'm having to dispose of that. This came with my World Book Day costume. I don't need it, so I'm going to recycle that. And then the last of these items are from the bathroom. And this is kind of what kicked off today. That wash basket, I hate it. I hate it with an absolute passion. It's slightly broken anyway, but it constantly falls apart because it's one of those ones that's put together with all the little poles. So I've ordered a different one on Amazon, a bamboo one, which at some point you'll probably see in the background of one of my videos. And I just was like, right, that's going. It just needs to go. And then that set me off on a bit of a tangent around the house. So from the bathroom, I found this soluble paracetamol that's out of date, so obviously not safe for Matt to consume. Then this razor is a set from Lidl, I want to say, and you might as well not bother, so I'm disposing of that one. This was something that my mum gave me. It came in a glossy box that somebody had given to her. I've not really used it. It smells nice, but I just don't see the point in keeping it. I've got baby oil for when I wax, so to be honest, I don't need a second oil. This again came from a glossy box. I'm going to see if I can put that in the food bank, you know, the donations in Asda and things, because it's still sealed, so somebody might like it. So I'm going to see what I can do with that. Then I changed my toothbrush over, just wanted a fresh start, and getting rid of this sort of foot nail file type thing that's going on. Just going to get rid of that. This face scrubby thing, it's been washed a fair few times, it just looks really grimy now, so going to get rid of that. This was in the bathroom but just doesn't smell anymore, so been in there. In fact, that should probably have gone in my empties video. I'm going to move that one. Got rid of my scrunchie, put a fresh one in the bath. Again, as I say, just wanted a fresh start. I never use the shower cap because I just move the shower down so it doesn't get on my hair and just clip my hair on the top of my head. So disposing of that. This had bath bombs in and I've moved them, so recycling the box. This had Matt's razor blades in it, but again I've found a different way to house them, so that's been recycled, as is this tin here, taking the toiletries out and getting rid of this because it's all dented. This had our toothbrushes in. I've got a different pot now, which is actually a soap dispenser, but the top fell off, but this just looks grimy and I don't like it anymore, so I'm binning it. This sponge that I was using to clean the bathroom with, it's seen its last day, so it's going. This Veet, I never use it. I actually either epilate or I get waxed, so I don't know why I got that, to be honest. It was an expensive mistake, but I need to know, again, things like this, what can you do with it? It's too good to just bin. I'll see if one of my friends wants it potentially, but what do you do with things like that? What do you do with it, in the sense that I don't want to just put it in the bin. It's like £11 worth of Veet, but if I'm not going to use it, it's silly sitting in my cupboard. Same with this bath pillow. Matt and I both tried it. I hated it. It was such a sad waste of £3, but there's no point in keeping it if I'm not going to use it. And a broken hanger. And final item, I believe, looking across the bed, is this Airwick air freshener thing. It doesn't work anymore. I've replaced the batteries a couple of times and it still doesn't work properly, so I think we've had it since we moved in this house, so over 2.5 years now. I think it's just got to the end of its life, really, so I'm getting rid of it. And that is everything that I am either decluttering, donating, or just literally throwing away rubbish today. Oh, I feel really out of breath. Sorry, I've probably talked to you like a million miles an hour, but this is making me feel better. I'll feel even better when I've bagged this up and taken this out and thrown it away, or put it in the boot if it's going to either the donation centre or the charity shop, or the food bank, which I'll do after work tomorrow. But yeah, this is kind of what I tend to do when I am feeling overwhelmed. I do this both at home and at school. I filled a black sack worth of resources on Friday night in my classroom of just stuff that people have dumped in my room or have kept that was unnecessary, and it was just cluttering up my classroom where there's other members of staff that might work in there, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I literally filled the biggest black sack to the brim of all this stuff that shouldn't have been in there. And I've obviously done a similar thing here, and that's tends to be how I kind of cope with overwhelm. I just start removing things that are easy wins, so that I can kind of have an easier life, I suppose. I don't really know how else to put it. But yeah, so I'm very, very aware that this Motivational Monday video is very different to the rest, and we'll be back on normal schedule by next week, I hope, and definitely if not the week after, because it will be close to Easter and I'll be attempting to wind down slightly. But yeah, so that is everything that is going. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said, take this as permission to literally just grab a bag and get rid of stuff. And do you know what, I was watching Dawn, the Minimal Mum, the other day, and she said, yes, there are certain things that you might want to recycle or find a better way to get rid of, but if you just need to give yourself permission to throw it all in a black sack and put it all in the bin so it's out of your life, then do it. I will try and ethically get rid of as much of this as I can, but sometimes you end up with things like this Veet that you just don't know what to do with. Why stress about it? Why spend a week worrying about what to do with some hair removal cream that you're never going to use? Just get rid of it. So yeah, so I'm going to stop chewing your ear off. Hope you're all well. When this uploads, I'll be at work living my not so best life. So I hope you are having a better time than I am. And I'll see you in the comments if you do. Well, do comment below. I love chatting to you all. And I've been getting a few more comments on my more recent videos, which is really lovely. So if you so wish, please feel free to comment below. And I'll speak to you all soon. And I'll see you again in a new video very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye.